Hi everybody, this is a helper video to get you started with a randomized generalized solution to the 8-queen puzzle. Sorry I don't have my nice mic today, we just have to make do. So here I've got my main method. I'm going to create a non-generalized version first, so let's call it solve puzzle. And then I want to think about what's the kind of high-level pseudocode for how I'm going to approach the problem. So I want to have a Boolean variable for whether or not I've solved the problem yet. So let's set solve to be false. And then I'll say, while I haven't solved the puzzle, I want to repeatedly do two things. I want to generate a random set of positions for the queens to be in, and then I want to check the solution. Okay, so we'll have methods for each of these. So let's say that we're going to use a two-dimensional board representation. So I'll say generate random board. Oops. And so this is a method that will create a two-dimensional array, like put 8 queens in random positions in it, and then return it here. So then I want to check the solution. I'll say if is solution board, then let's display the board. Actually, let's do two things. Let's display the board, and we'll also set solved to be true. Or we could just exit the method here. We could just return immediately. Either one. Okay. So is solution, you've already made this. So you know how to do that. Display, you've already done that. Let's talk about generating a board. So if we're going to generate a random board, we got to create a new array. So for us, it's an 8x8 array. And then we got to put some queens down. So I think let's loop the row that we're in from 0 to the length of the board. And then we'll generate a random column to put the queen into. And then we can say, let's place a queen in each row one at a time. And then let's use the random column, and we'll put a 1 there. And then we can return the board at the end, something like that. Okay, so that's the sort of bare bones template for how our idea is going to work. Let's talk about how we might generalize it. So if I'm going to generalize it, I'm going to add n, which represents the size of the puzzle that we want to solve. So like we could write 8 for an 8x8 board with 8 queens. Okay, so what in here needs to change? Is solution, I still want to keep the same. Display, probably I keep the same. So the only thing that really needs to change is how I generate the board. So I'm going to pass as an input n into generate random board, because that method has to know what's the size of the board that I want to generate. So instead of an 8x8 board, I'll make an n by n board. I still want to loop through every single row. I still want to place a queen in each row. And the only difference is now the random column, where I generate the random column, I need to make sure that it's between 0 and n, or 0 and n minus 1 inclusive. Cool, so it seems like that's the only step I need to do to generalize it. The way that is solution works should already be general, because we're already looping over all the rows and columns of the board. There's nothing specific to an 8x8 board that was in this method before. So that's it. I hope that helps. Good luck, everybody.